I was the head coach for the under 15 Indian women's team in 2018. About 22 years of coaching experience now, and also done a lot of licenses both in UK and in India as well. Club objective is to promote football and create a sporting culture in our country. That's our main objective. If you are committed, it is our job to make sure that you become a great player. Person goes on to work in a corporate job tomorrow. His team skills will help him over there. We all would probably want to see India in the World Cup, but we are not working together to achieve that. If I'm an Indian and I love football, why should I not support local? Right?
Yeah,
I
I know.
should be a part of it. Fan base. Since IWL clubs have to work 100 times more to create a fan base. If we do create role models in women, yes, it will obviously encourage a lot of more women to believe that there is a career path in the sport. If you do not get a sponsor, that's not an excuse to say that my club cannot run. So a lot of people do that mistake in India, that they think that clubs run on sponsorship. They say even probably the best coach in the country will have 5% of knowledge of football, right? So, and probably most of the coaches in our country may have 0.5% knowledge, right? Will appeal to everyone who would like to work together to, look at a forum that we can work together in. To start changing that and developing local talent. And when that happens across all our nation, automatically we will have a lot of competition amongst ourselves, which will again raise the bar. Training at a right academy is very, very important, and understanding what is the right academy. How do we find a right academy? There's two ways to get into the national team. One is getting scouted through the youth I-Leagues, that is the youth national tournaments organized by AIFF.
Hello guys, today we have with us here Mr. Firmin D'Souza sir. He is the head coach of the women's national under 15 team. He is the HOD of SRS Sporting Skills and the founder and president of FC of Mumbaikar. Sir, first of all, how are you, and would you like to add anything to your introduction?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you, Omkar?
I'm totally fine, yeah.
Yeah. I was with the under 15 team, and it is on project basis. So I was the head coach for the under 15 Indian women's team in 2018, and we went on to win the SAFF Cup and were runners up in our group in the AFC Cup Championship qualifiers. Yeah. So besides that, having about 22 years of coaching experience now, and also done a lot of licenses both in UK and in India as well.
Wow. Sir, could you describe your current position, responsibilities, and exactly whom do you have to include in your team? To go ahead.
Yeah. So mainly now I'm managing my academy, and we are based in Pune mainly. And we also operate in Mumbai. My main target is I'm an entrepreneur in that sense, because I have to manage almost everything at the academy since I'm a founder. So it goes right from seeing sustainability in terms of finances to being a technical director and training coaches, also training teams, also looking into how do we go about in terms of our development plans in achieving our long-term objectives. So yeah, in it can't really explain everything in such a short time. It entails a lot of work that goes into running a club, and I'm kind of involved into each and every department that is there in our club.
Oh, so first of all, how do you select, not only your coaching team and your team who is controlling the actual playing team itself, but also how do you scout the players? Do you go to college tournaments or do you conduct tournaments yourself? What exactly is the process there?
So since our club objective is to promote football and create a sporting culture in our country, that's our main objective. So what we do is we do not really scout. What we do is we say yes to everyone, right? Everyone who wants to join the club is most welcome. And for us, our main criteria for a player to make it into our club is their commitment. We are very clear that whether you come in the pay and play model or you are on a scholarship model, whichever model you're in, you have to be totally committed, and 100% attendance is a must. So that is our main criteria, and we clearly tell everyone that if you are committed, it is our job to make sure that you become a great player. And we have done that with a lot of players, and we can kind of guarantee that if you are with us for a long term, you will be a great player in our country.
So can you again tell from which ages does the academy span, and on what age players does it work on?
We have players right from 2.5 year olds, right? So we start from really young, and in 2.5 year olds, basically it's just making them fall in love with the game and working on their coordination skills, cognitive skills, basically developing them more as a human athlete. That's
Through
the base
football.
for any sports. So that's what we work on initially. That's what every child, whether they even want to take up sports, their mobility is something that needs to be worked on in every school. So that's what we start doing. That gives a base for them to then choose any sport they want. So we start at 2.5 year olds.
And the max is still 80, under 18s and under.
We generally focus on youth. So most of our players, about 95% of our players are under 18.
Oh, okay. So also you were an under 15 coach, right? So which is literally the most important stage of a player. That age from 14 to 16 is what essentially decides how good the trajectory of a player's career will be. So what do you think are the common mistakes made by the player? And I don't mean just, not being regular or not working hard enough. Those are the ones which are obvious. But are there some mistakes which you see on the field which us other people can't see?
Well, as you said, the most common mistake first is not being consistent, not being regular, and not being committed. That's the most important factor. Okay, but besides that, yes, a lot that is decided. I think even as coaches are now learning, and I've been talking about it from a long time, a lot is decided by the player's attitude, right? If the player has the right attitude and the stubbornness to become a player, that player is going to make it, big. And for that, they need to learn to manage themselves very well. That it also means that they need to maintain good relationships with everyone, because sometimes being arrogant may be an hurdle in their career. So it's better to maintain good relationships with everyone, and without doubt, their footballing skills and does play a big role. But I have seen brilliant players not make it just because of things like attitude, where they do not know, how to behave to make sure that they are a part of every coach's team. At the end of the day, you should be able to be a part of any team in the world. You're never going to be a part of one single team. That is very rare that will happen. You will be playing in a lot of teams, and you should be able to adjust into any coach's team, any strategy, any playing style. And if you're a versatile player, nothing like it. It will help you.
Also, in the end, it's just, the team is just one big machine driven by many parts. You just have to be a part which fits all. But do you feel that, at least in teenage, there are two things. One is, I think I've seen people develop an ego, which might cause a hurdle. And the other is the priorities of a person might change. Not necessarily, but might change. So do you feel how to prevent the change in priorities and how to prevent the development of an ego?
Yeah. So this is perfectly put in there by you. Uh, what happens at this point of time? Yes, we start questioning things. It is very obvious, and it's not wrong to question things. It's about how do you question things, right? You do not
Oh,
hurt someone by the tone. You do not uh, put that question as if you are questioning authority. You put that question to uh, understand things. People you're putting the questions to should be able to understand that you want to understand whatever the process is, why it is being done, so that as a player you become a better player. So yes, sometimes it may be taken as ego also, but it is all about again, as I said, how you maintain relationships. And that is a skill. That's man management is a skill for every human being to learn. And it's not wrong about questioning everything. You need to question
yeah.
everything. You need to understand everything. That is the base of knowledge, and you should always do that. So it's just about how do you put it. Do not hurt someone's sentiments or ego, right? And put yourself in the wrong place, because that will again be a hurdle in your career. So it's very
Yeah.
important.
Also, sir, I think that was a great answer because if you bottle up all your questions, it will come out as anger. Whereas if you just
Yeah,
ask them in the right way and in a humble way, you might get an answer which might satisfy you and help you work in the right direction. So, do you
yeah,
feel
absolutely.
there are other things like this off-field antics? Not just, it's not just about, at least when the players become big, let's say, we're talking about Premier League. So they have off-field antics or off-field matters which they have to consider, like media and all that. Do you think young people also have to consider some things like that, which are not just training or playing football, but some off-field things which might help them do better in the game itself?
See, as a responsibility of everyone in football, we should include a lot of life skill training, right? It is not just about football. If the person goes on to work in a corporate job tomorrow, his team skills will help him over there, right? Similarly, sometimes you have to face media, and you should be confident, and you should know how to answer, what to answer, what is legally right, what is not wrong. This is all knowledge at the end of it. Everything starts with intention and knowledge. And I think it's everyone's responsibility to start including such important skills in every person's life, not just saying that, okay, we are trying to make him a footballer, so we will teach him. But even in a footballer's life, he has to face the media, and maybe even in another career path he may need to
Yeah.
face media, right? So that is a life skill that I think we all should contribute towards helping out every footballer with, right? Whoever has the expertise, whoever has the knowledge, should come out and start helping out in these areas, and saying that, yeah, it is required for every human being, not just football. Yes,
Yeah.
so we do need to train players in those fields as well.
Also, yeah, you're right when you said because just being a good person helps basically.
Yeah.
So I've noticed this that generally, yeah, like you said, life skills and all your moralities overall help you become a better player, which again helps you become a better person if you learn from the game regularly. I also think that culture is a similar thing where if football helps in the culture, culture returns back to the game. So can you
Absolutely.
how can we improve the culture in places where it isn't good, or how can we improve the culture? How can we inculcate football into community, maybe helping the people out there so that they give back to football itself? And how can we start that process or ignite that process?
Well, it is very simple actually, but it is difficult to execute it. It is simple because it is each and every stakeholder's responsibility to create a culture, right?
Mhm.
Some will say it is a coach's job, some will say it is a player's job, some will say it is the association's job, some will say it is the media's job, but it is everyone's job, right? And if we all work together uh, towards one objective that we all have, right? We are all have the same dreams when it comes to football, but we
Yeah,
don't work together, right? We all would probably want to see India in the World Cup, but we are not working together to achieve that. So what we need to do is we need to come together to achieve that dream. And if we come together, we automatically start creating a culture, because we understand the hurdles, the problems each one of us is having, and we all try to help out and become a solution to it, right? And automatically we'll get that right culture in place because of just working together. So we all come together, work together, and we create a culture. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think someone has to, someone has to pick up the torch and then give people the hope, and then the people have to, work with considering that people as a leader, that person as a leader, and with that person as a leader, when people will work, more people will the game will spread through more people, and then finally we can have a large enough culture which we can call a culture first of all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
so
yeah,
go
and I
ahead.
was saying that it's not about just, I think we all are leaders. I think we all have to take the initiative, not wait for someone else. If we
Yeah,
all are
yeah,
leaders and we take that initiative, it will happen. It will certainly happen. It's just about taking the initiative of putting your hand forward and saying, I am ready. Will you join hands with me?
yeah. I had another similar question to this one also, sir, and this is a really sad one, that football is generally popular in 5 to 6 states, like Goa, first of all. There's Kerala, there's West Bengal, obviously, and some parts of Maharashtra. But in the other places, there are all these football fans. I'm in college right now, in a hostel college, and I see that people from all the places, from Bhopal to Shimla to Chhattisgarh, everyone loves football. The problem is that they are locked to supporting a foreign team, not a state team, and they're also, the football is not developed enough. So how can we again start a process where they can maybe start supporting local teams more? How can we make fans invested more into a local team? Do you have any answer for that? This is me
So
asking as a fan, because
yeah. So again, boils down to each one of us taking that
yeah,
responsibility,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
We cannot just say that clubs are not doing enough. It is everyone not doing enough, right? The
yeah.
associations are not doing enough. The media is not doing enough. The players are not doing enough. The coaches are not doing enough. The referees are not doing enough. It's everyone, coming together as a community and trying to promote the sport, right? And the I think you don't need to tell anyone what are the benefits of being in sport. Sports have massive benefits, and in it it is something that has to be a way of life. Through sports, fitness is not boring as well. You live a healthy life through sports
Yeah,
if you're trying to be fit. So there are massive benefits. Your community can gain a lot through it, and again we all have to take that initiative. We cannot say that someone is not taking that initiative. If I am supporting a Premier League club, a La Liga club, uh, there's nothing wrong in that, because yes, that is the quality of football that attracts me there. But at the same time, I have to look at my local clubs also, go and find out and take the initiative of just being a fan of a local club as well. Why should, if I'm an Indian and I love football, why should I not support local, right?
yeah,
I
I know.
should be a part of it.
Also, in the end, for the fans, it does boil down to good football, but it also boils down to that feeling of our team. If there is an our team, then there's always, you can never say no to your own team, however the team is. You have to embrace it, you have to accept it. And I guess that's what I see, that now with the ISL increasing so much, there is this our team concept. So do you think the IWL is also gaining fans now that it's being broadcasted better and advertised better, as I could see on Twitter? It's being broadcast better. So do you feel that the IWL is gaining traction now amongst women?
Uh, in
And
terms of first, I'll talk about ISL itself. I think we are far away from actually having a great fan base, right? And for that, I think again the ecosystem where the club needs to start doing a lot of activities for the community, getting the community engaged, and similarly the community, a lot of people in the community who do a lot of work in the community need to go and start working with these clubs, right? Where some programs can be activated by these clubs, and automatically when you start connecting with more of the crowd, your fan base will increase because of the good work that you do. So you have to reach out. You have to reach out as ISL clubs, and similarly, it will go down to the IWL clubs also. And if ISL clubs are far away from their actual fan base, means IWL clubs have to work 100 times more to create a fan base.
Yeah, yes. You're the coach of a women's team. So do you feel that with the rise of women's football being broadcasted everywhere, women players have it better if they have women role models? Maybe that's a question I wanted to ask.
I would say, yes, role models are required everywhere. Everywhere, role models are required. And if we do create role models in women, yes, it will obviously encourage a lot of more women to believe that there is a career path in the sport, right? And at the same time, there is no harm in women having a male role model also. There's no problem in that. But yes, for everyone to believe that there is a career path, as creating more of women role models is a very important process that we have to look at.
Yeah, because I feel that for every Ronaldo, I think some girls have an Ada Hegerberg, sorry. For every Messi, they might have Megan Rapinoe. So just like that, if we have more Indian female players like Dalima Chibbar or Manisha Kalyan, who are headlining the national team and they are playing really great football. So I think they will have similar struggles to the girls now, who are watching football and getting inspired now. So just like that, do you feel that female coaches also can have a greater rapport with the female players, or nothing like that?
Well, it is very subjective to talk on whether yes, that would work or not. I think even in we can say in male teams we can have female coaches. I don't have a problem with that as well. I think it all boils down to the quality and the objectives of what is trying to be achieved. Right? It should be the right person for the right job. Doesn't matter if it is male or female. Yes, having female staff on the women's team is very important because there are certain matters that they're comfortable discussing with women. So yes, having women staff is very important. But in terms of when we are talking about coaching, I think the right person for the right job, that is more important than us saying
on the person himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with having women coaches for women teams. If they have the quality, they deserve it and can achieve the objectives set for that team, it is brilliant. So as I said, it is the right person for the right job. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Also, now again, this was another thing I wanted to ask you was that do you believe that a break from game, because I've seen that many male and female players overall have heard in COVID because they couldn't play for a long time, they just left football. But do you feel if a person still loves the game, then can they come back to playing football? If a young player wants to come back to playing the game again, can they do it, or do you think it's tough to recover back to their original form as a semi-pro player above?
See, well, time lost is time lost, right? You cannot get time back. That is the most important resource on earth, right? So if someone decided to lose time, that was their choice that they have made. And I'm not saying that it's never impossible to do anything on earth, right? So they can come back, but the time lost will be cannot be gained by saying that I'll work harder or something like that, right? That time has gone by, and if football was your career, I would say it was probably a mistake that you took a break. You should have yet made arrangements for you taking care of your fitness and your football skills, like a lot of players did over the world.
Yeah. The fitness is the bare minimum you could do. That's true. Yeah. So again, you also said that you are an entrepreneur in football, and again a COVID related question, because that's exactly what we talk about nowadays a lot.
Yeah.
But even the clubs have taken a big hit. So do you feel that for a budding club or for a club hit by COVID, how can we exactly raise money? How can they raise money? And when they're new, what sponsorships could they get? Whom can they approach at the start of their building of a club to build a club through money? How can they gain that money? Do you have any idea? Could you help us know?
See, first of all, in terms of finances, every business should be sustainable. Okay, sponsorship should be a bonus to do bigger things. But if you do not get a sponsor, that's not an excuse to say that my club cannot run. Right? You have to already have revenue streams which make your club sustainable. So your business plan should always be made with sustainability in mind, not because you have a sponsor, you make a club. Right? So a lot of people do that mistake in India, that they think that clubs run on sponsorship. No, that is one source of revenue, and that is not a guaranteed source of revenue. You should have guaranteed sources of revenue to make sure your club sustains and you can achieve your long-term objectives. If you do get sponsors on board, that is a bonus, and you can do bigger things with that. That's how you should be running your club. Right? And we have seen this over the years, that a lot of top clubs in the country have shut down because either they were a corporate team or either their sponsor has pulled out. Right? And we that totally shatters a lot of hopes and dreams. So we need to make sure that we do not make that mistake and make a sustainable plan in terms of how the club will run for a long term.
Sir, but yeah, exactly what I wanted to ask was how can they run with a sponsor? Generally, I think it's when they have something tied up with the club, right? For example, there were Air Force teams, there were railway teams. They got some money through the Air Force assigned to them to make a team. But how can exactly a club be built? Can you suggest a revenue stream, for example, just an example, Could you try giving?
Yeah. So one is the academy. Okay. The academy is a major source of revenue stream for clubs. Okay. Then besides that, there are other programs that clubs can run where, if you're running a professional club, you can actually have a lot of education for sports management, a lot of education for coaches, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can have a lot of revenue streams. Okay. Then you can move into merchandising as well. You can do, so you have to think of ideas of how you will have your revenue sources. You can obviously take examples from bigger clubs as to how are their revenue sources. But yes, we cannot compare and do exactly what they do, because yes, they have a lot of TV rights money that comes in. They have a lot of sponsorship money that comes in, and that sponsorship money does come in because of the TV time that they get, the air time that they get, right? So everyone wants eyeballs. So you are not going to get that kind of sponsors initially until you reach that level. So as I said, you need to look at what you are good at, and you have to start making revenue models out of it so that you sustain.
Yeah. Sir, you also said that, sports academies and teaching people what sports management might help. So can you tell me whether are you at least planning on having a coaching club or meet in a city or in a state? And do you think it will help the coaches, just multiple coaches coming together, trying to discuss their problems, different aspects of the game, just a weekly club or coach meet? Do you think that you can make a program in which people can interact like that?
Well, that is an excellent idea by itself, right? Brilliant coaches coming together, discussing, good ideas and trying to put them into action. That is absolutely the need of the hour, as I said. Very important that people understand that, again, your base is intention and knowledge, right? A lot of people jump into conclusions that they have achieved a lot by just doing basic education. There is a, as I say, even probably the best coach in the country will have 5% of knowledge of football, right? So, and probably most of the coaches in our country may have 0.5% knowledge, right? And there is a lot of learning yet left for everyone in our country. And so it is throughout the world, not just our country. It is throughout the world that the learning process is a continuous one, and people have to try very hard to make sure that they want to learn every day and improve and become a better person, a better professional every day. So, and this is one of the steps, right? Sharing, coaches sharing with each other.
Yeah,
They're sharing their knowledge at the end of the day. So you can gain some knowledge and maybe apply some of it for yourself, or maybe apply some of it for the community.
Yeah. Do you think the FAs can organize a summit or some sorts? A summit where just coaches can meet. Are there any kind of...
Absolutely. They are the ones in administration. They have the most power to do it, right? If
Yeah,
they organize it, it is kind of an endorsed uh, event, right? So
yeah,
that the participation will be huge in such kind of events. And if FAs
yeah.
go on to do it, it is always going to be
Excellent.
priority for every coach to attend. And
Yeah.
I think it will certainly help in a lot of progress.
So you also said this is a personal question now, because a personal means this is something preferred by me. The thing is, I always wanted to know how exactly the licenses work. Can you explain the UEFA license, the UK license, the AIFF license, and the AFC license? What are the differences? Can they work in each other? Means can an Indian license person, will his license be appreciated in another foreign country or stuff like that? Can you just explain in quick?
Yeah. So in terms of every continents have their own license, right? And if you want to go into another continent and coach, in Asia, it is called an RECC process, right? About this, you can get more information on the AFC website as well as on the AIFF website, right? There is a lot of information on how you do the RECC process. All the details are given there. So once you do an RECC process, your license from another continent is considered to be equivalent to a license in this continent, right?
Oh.
So if I want to work in Europe and I have a license, then I apply for an equivalent license in that continent, and whatever is the equivalent license for a AFCA license in their continent, they will give that to you, that certification to you in their continent, and then you can work in their continent.
I didn't know this, the equivalence. Also, then what is the difference between a continental body and a national body license? Why is there a discrepancy?
So at the end of the day, the system is FIFA is the governing body. Then we have continent bodies. Okay, for us it's AFC. Then we have national member associations, right? That's AIFF for us. So as we break down things have to be further looked into more detail. And right. So the D license is one such example, right? It's not a continental or a FIFA license, but it is valid in countries. A lot of countries have a E license, a D license, and that is to introduce people into coaching, right? Because a C license gets little more professional. You need to already have a base, and you cannot have a base directly and come into a C license for a lot of coaches. So they need this E and D license to create that base for them. So that's why national associations make it easier for coaches to go on to a C license by giving them a base. And similarly, the AFC does allow even now member associations who are a part of the coaching convention to have their own licenses which are valid in the continent. That is CBA. They allow them to do that as well, right? But there are a lot of criteria that they need to fulfill, and we are fortunate enough that India has fulfilled those criteria and can have licenses, that is CBA licenses by itself, because we are well equipped to do that now. And going forward, we may probably also be able to do pro licenses by ourselves in the future. So that's a step where AFC is empowering the national member associations to be well equipped to conduct their own licenses.
It's giving them the freedom. Yeah,
freedom and empowering them basically, because they should be of that standard to do the licenses by themselves, and that is what AFC is doing, empowering the member associations to be well equipped to do the licenses, which in turn allows the nation to develop faster.
First of all, it has been great interviewing you. But you said that you want to, start nurturing and keeping. You want to keep the local talent. You want to nurture it. So, what progress has been made in that direction since then? And you also said that you want to get all stakeholders to work together. So, how are you planning on uniting them together?
Well, I've been speaking to a couple of organizations that work as a association for the stakeholders, right? I've been speaking to them and telling them that we need to come under one forum and discuss our problems. Well, it is a long process. It will take some time because, again, it is a lot of man management, a lot of problems that have been there in the past that we need to get past. So it's going to be difficult, but not impossible. And we are certainly going to get it done, that we get all the stakeholders to work together. And I will appeal to everyone who would like to work together to, look at a forum that we can work together in. If not, even if you all would like to just reach out to me, you all can do the same. And I would be glad to help out on how you can be involved in the process of developing our country's football. And what was your other question?
So yeah, the nurturing and keeping local talent. How do you plan on doing that?
Yeah. So for that also, I am looking at first creating a role model in terms of what I am doing. And obviously, developing players is not a short-term process, so it takes time, right? And as soon as, although I have had quite a good amount of results already in my favor, but the kind of results I'm looking for is much higher than what everyone would be satisfied with. So if we are looking for our nation to make it to the World Cup in the coming 15 years, then probably we need to look at much higher objectives and much higher benchmarks. So I'm looking to start achieving few for the younger children, and as soon as I'm achieving it and more people believe in the process, I'm looking to tie up with a lot of academies all across the nation, one in each state to be specific, where they start developing local talent, right? And we are not reliant on players from a certain area of our country where the culture is much bigger, and say that we want to then it's just about winning. It's not about creating a culture. It's just about winning. We just get players from a certain area of the country. No one is developing talent. No one is doing anything in their local community, and automatically
so true.
And automatically football doesn't become a culture in their areas. So we need to start changing that and developing local talent. And when that happens across all our nation, automatically we will have a lot of competition amongst ourselves, which will again raise the bar. And then we will be automatically looking at competing at the international level much better.
Yeah. So I think the equality of opportunity in every state is necessary. And again, the last one is your expert opinion. Again, how do you think we'll perform in, and how do you think we'll fare in the Under-17 Women's World Cup if FIFA allows us to, do it? Which I sincerely hope that it will. The committee will allow us. But how do you think will the Under-17 World Cup be for our women as an experience, and also how will they perform? Both of these are questions.
In terms of how will they perform, I can't really comment on it because I haven't seen their preparations or seen their level right now, and nor am I following the levels of the other teams that are participating in the tournament. So as of right now, it's not right for me to comment on how we will perform. And yes, as an Indian, I'm going to be optimistic and want them to do well. And yeah, it's in terms of opportunity, it is immense. There's nothing bigger than that for our girls,
World Cup,
right?
Yeah,
it's a World Cup, and there's nothing bigger than that. I think we should all back them and be there for them and support them. As we said, we need to create a culture. This is a great opportunity for us to show the world what material we are made of and how we can support our football, right? So this we should take up this opportunity, and not just by being there in the stadium, but by backing every kid who's playing football, to support them by creating a hype about this, you know and again, not only backing them when they get results, but backing them
When
because
they're at their
of,
best. Yeah.
of the stage that we are in. It takes a lot of courage even to be at that stage, right? And yeah, every country that started off reaching the World Cup did not perform on the World Cup in the first go itself. It took them a couple
Yeah.
of attempts. So we have to realize the fact that this is a huge competition. It may take us some time uh, to perform. If we perform and we do what most of the countries in the world have not done, amazing. But even if we don't, we yet are going to back, and it's not just going to be just for the World Cup, it's going to be for a long term. That's what we all have to be there for. And that's how it's, as we said, it's culture is everything, as you put it rightly at the start, and we all have to be a part of that culture.
Sir, I think it's going to be a milestone, because the thing is that the under 17 World Cup, after that World Cup, I have seen unforeseen. I had never seen such kind of chatter about World Cups. We're talking about how we can reach the World Cup now. People are, making plans on how India can reach the World Cup. There are plans of the AFC, the women's AFC. When it took place, there was so much of discussion. I even watched a few games by them. The one game by them is Iran, and that's all I saw. Everyone wanted to go to the World Cup, and since we're getting the under 17 opportunity, it is going to be the milestone which will, start to make people think about it more. So I think, yeah, that would be a really good thing to happen. It would be a blessing.
Yeah, it is a great milestone, and it is also a great opportunity for us to watch such great talent in our country. But as I keep saying, that whether we have these opportunities or don't have these opportunities, that isn't a reason for us to not back our country and back football. If we love football, we love our country, that's good enough reason to do enough in football. Whether it's at a big level or a small level, we need to contribute.
It is our country in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Also, sir, yeah, those were all the questions from my part. And I really love talking to you. Also, your answers were very, real, and you just laid it all out there very simply, and it was very easy to understand. And you could see that it came from your heart, everything. So anyway, thank you for being
Thank you.
such a great guest on the interview.
Thank you.
Omkar, one few more questions probably, if you can take it up. That is regarding one question from Nadia, which she has asked why Kashmir team is not getting an opportunity if
Yeah. So I'll ask that question as well. So again, sir, yeah, like Nadia ma'am has asked before, the Kashmir is an overall and very overlooked area of India. So how can the focus also shift more to the right, the Himachal Pradesh state, the Kashmir states, or the Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu? How can focus be shifted there, and how can they build from the ground up, because it is quite overlooked since 1947 itself? So do you have any idea how they can start, maybe?
Yeah, it's pretty much. I would have also said that there are a lot of states, a lot of areas that do not have enough of infrastructure opportunities. But again, it comes down to initiative, and people from that area need to start taking an initiative. Whatever support is required, you can take that support from other areas. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people ready to help out. It's not that, and in today's time with social media, you put out a single message and 100 people will be there to help you out. So in terms of ideas that you require, that what you can do for the areas where there is not enough of opportunity in terms of getting exposure to bigger tournaments and stuff, you can obviously take help from the bigger teams, and they will. I'm telling you that even in terms of Kashmir, there are a lot of players playing at the top level already, right?
Yeah, Danish Farooq, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that Kashmir is far behind or being ignored, but it is that these people who come out of Kashmir have taken the initiative themselves to find, or someone has helped them has taken that, someone from there has taken the initiative to help them find their career path, right? So it is important. Again, it comes down to intention and knowledge, the base of everything. That
And I think
people from there.
we know that our culture has made it when, in states like Kashmir as well, the player does not have to rely on someone's kindness to reach there and just his talent alone. So I guess that way we can, improve other states like Kashmir and Himachal. But also, I guess there's also a weather problem, right? In the cold, it's tough to play. So are there any, ways they can play in the winters or something, practice?
Well, weather
There's just
problem.
problems I'm asking.
Yeah, so weather problem is every area has their own weather, and everyone, when they go out of their own comfort zones, will always have a problem with the other weather. Getting accustomed to those weathers takes some preparation. So you need to work on your preparation and planning when you are going into other areas to train, right? And scientifically also, you need to give players, if you're calling them for a trial, you need to give them some more time, because they're coming from such different conditions, to get acclimatized to the area that they are in. So these things need to be considered, and I think as we are progressing, as I said, knowledge is the base with which people are gaining. They are understanding that they need to do these things and give better opportunities to talent to actually see talent.
So overall, it's an optimistic picture, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, it is intention, it is initiative that we all have to take. So I'm going on appealing basically to everyone to start taking that torch that you were talking about by yourself.
Small
Everyone
steps.
has a torch, and we will have a lot more followers. If we have millions of torches, we'll have billions of followers.
What should be somebody look out there for right academy for training?
Yeah. So in terms of very, very important question, because this is again connected to knowledge. Yes, training at a right academy is very, very important, and understanding what is the right academy. How do we find a right academy? Now, one of the processes for finding a right academy would be finding out if it is AIFF accredited, right? The fact that the academy is AIFF accredited it means that that academy has shown the intention to play at the national level and give their kids an exposure at the national level, right? And to get accreditation, there's a lot of criteria that an academy has to pass, right? Has to show that they are a good academy, which involves the infrastructure, which involves the coaching licenses of the coaches, which involves the managing staff that is required in the clubs, which involves a lot of player well-being, that's player insurance, physios, doctors, AEDs, the ambulances, all these facilities required for players. There's a lot of things. It's difficult to get an accreditation, which means that AIFF is putting in a lot of effort to inspect whether these academies are doing the right things. So it is one of the easiest way to look for a right academy, seeing if the academy is AIFF accredited, right? And again, if it is not AIFF accredited, then you ask the same questions that a club needs to fulfill the criteria for an accreditation: the licenses of the coaches, the experience, the results, the level of competition,
the tournaments they participate in.
Tournaments that they participate in, the level of it, and the number of matches kids get. Kids need to get about 30 to 45 matches a year minimum, right? And we fall short of it quite a bit, right? When we compare players and coaches' experience, we do it by years, but it is wrong. It is compared by matches. And when we compare it to Europe, players there are doing about 60 matches and we are doing about 20 matches, and we are comparing them. It is just impossible to compare them, because in 3 years we are gaining 1 year of experience, and they are gaining in 1 year 3 years of our experience. So when we put number of years to it, it makes no sense. We need to put number of matches. And for that, we need to get our kids to be playing minimum 35 to 45 matches a year. That's what even FIFA does suggest. So asking all these questions again of whether it's accredited, what is the licenses of the coaches, their experience, the results these coaches have got previously, what is the club results that they have got previously, where have the kids from this academy gone on to, in terms of their career paths, which level of tournaments they play, number of matches they play, the infrastructure that they have, and how do they take care of the well-being of the players, right? So you need to get into all these details. It's like just choosing a school is choosing a right academy. So I think people need to ask the right questions. Like I just did tell you all what are the right questions. And once you get the answers, you'll automatically know which is the right academy in terms of, putting your child for a better career path.
Yes, sir, this question was very crucial about asking, how to reach the national team, because as a person, I always thought that what one had to do was go to a school. But the thing is that doesn't happen. One goes to a school and then after a while his progress stops. He either goes to state maybe, or you play through your school maybe. Yeah, like your actual school where you learn. CBSE schools, they have tournaments, they play there. But nobody knows how to go ahead. So I guess that was a really good answer, that you need to look for AIFF accredited coaching teams to go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry then, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions?
How do I get into Indian team?
Yeah, what exactly is the process? Because let's say someone goes to a tournament, he plays well enough, he goes ahead. After that, at what point, what can a talented player expect to progress to the national team? Because we know one has to start here, we know one has to end here. But in the middle, what are the stages a player needs to take to reach that level?
Yeah, so there is two ways to get into the national team. One is getting scouted through the youth I-Leagues, that is the youth national tournaments organized by AIFF. Okay, get scouted through them. And the other way is you play for your state. So you first play probably for your district, and then from there you get selected for your state. And then you play for your state in the nationals again, that is organized by AIFF. And out there you can then, the scouts will have a look at you. And if you're good enough, you can get scouted for our national teams, right? And there are teams right from under 15, under 17, under 19, under 20, under 23, and then our senior national teams. So these are the ways. And in women's, we right now have, in age groups, we only have the national tournaments. That is, you play for your state, sub-junior and junior teams. There is not yet enough tournaments in club level, or rather no tournament in club level for women to get scouted at the national level. However, in the senior level, the IWL is the opportunity for women to get scouted to our national team directly. And yeah, as I said, for boys, you have both in youth level, you have tournaments organized by AIFF, as well you have the national championships, both in age groups as well as senior.
There's Santosh Trophy and all those trophies too, right, to represent your state and then go ahead. Yeah. So
those are the two career pathways that you can explore for getting scouted for our national teams.
Can you suggest some non-football actual off-field jobs for people who are maybe not made it as a player? Are there any jobs like that? And can you suggest a few, again, a part of a community to help the game?
Well, there are, I can't list down enough number of jobs. There are so many jobs that is available actually. In a club itself, there is a lot of administration jobs that are there. And there is finance, there is HR, it's just like a corporate, there are so many departments that would be there, and each department will have its expertise. So at times, because football is not financially that stable yet in our country, you may have to be managing couple of departments. So you learn a lot of skills also as well. And as I said, there is a lot of scope. There is analysis. There is a lot of medical health. There's strength and conditioning, which is a very important component of sports, which is ignored quite a bit. Then there is a lot of there is refereeing. There is other jobs like managing teams, right? Team managers, not
or
exactly.
opening academies. You can coach people if you can do it.
Yeah. So a lot of, I didn't get what you said.
If you can also coach people. I said.
You can move into coaching as well if you have a base of football. Yes, you can move into coaching as well. But coaching is something that people already know of mainly. But there are so many other jobs that people are not aware of, and you can yet stay in football and have a sustainable career for yourself if you look into those aspects of football as well. There is a lot of things that is not seen in the front, and lot of things that are ignored in our country as well. An example, SNC is a major component of sports which is ignored in our country, right? So there is a lot of need of good SNC coaches in our country, especially sports specific.
Really liked your answers because they all provided on the spot answer. Basically, to put it exactly, you gave exactly the right solution and not you didn't beat around the bush. You gave the exact solution on how to approach the problem. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a privilege on my end as well to have a discussion with you all, and I hope together we all create an impact and take football ahead together.
Yeah,
hope definitely we would like to help you.
Yeah. So great to meet you, sir.
Yes. Same here. Take care. Thank you.
Take you. Bye.
Bye.